Hi everyone, and I'd just like to say hello. And I know I've not been around for a while. I'd just like to introduce two new products. I finally gone out and bought a couple of Macs. As my subscribers will know, that I've always ran a Hackintosh for the past 6 years. But I've now gone out and bought the. I'll just show you. I bought the iMac 5K, the latest one out. I liked the screen resolution, 5K. I was looking into buying a 5K screen for my other rig, but it was going to cost so much money and it was cheaper to buy this. I opted for this model. It did only come with 8 gigabytes of RAM, but I have got 32 gigabytes on order. I didn't get it from Apple because it was just going to cost way too much money when you can buy it online for about 160 quid. To get it from Apple, it was going to be about 300 or something. So I didn't bother doing it that way. I also got the 1 terabyte Fusion drive. I'll just show you. For those of you that don't know what a Fusion drive is, it's basically, like if you look here on the left, we've got an SSD drive and we've got a 1 terabyte Apple Mechanicals, the Seagate drive. And what Apple do out of the gate is they combine those together so that you get a 1.2 or 1.13 terabyte hard drive. And what it does is it caches all your files that you use mainly on the SSD, and all the big massive files that you don't use as often go on the 1 terabyte hard drive. Anyway, I used it for a few weeks and decided that I so didn't like it. Don't get me wrong, it was much better doing it that way than using a standard 1 terabyte on its own, but I knew that if I was to split them up, and it wasn't actually really easy, but I'll do a tutorial now today, to split them up, that my SSD had performed much better on its own. And as you can see now, I've got the SSD as my boot drive, and it boots a lot faster. And obviously it's a proper SSD, so I install all my programs onto it, and 120 gig is plenty big enough for all my OS X programs. I only use about 40 gig, and that's with OS X, Final Cut, Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Lightroom, all the big programs. And you still, if you put iMovie on and all that, like, you don't use more than 50 gigabytes, and that to an SSD is no problem. And you can see I've split the 1 terabyte up. I will tell you that I did some benchmarks on the 1 terabyte Apple drive, and I was quite impressed. I was getting read speeds of 200 megabytes a second, which were pretty good for a 1 terabyte hard drive. So that's that. I also bought a MacBook Pro, the MacBook Pro Retina, the latest one. And I've got to admit that the screen on that is, because I've been looking at the screen on this, the screen on that is absolutely gorgeous, really zinging tack sharp, really, really good. It's got SSD drive built in, SSD flash storage, onboard flash storage, and it's super fast. It's actually quicker at coming on than this machine. It really, really does fly, and that's because the SSD on that computer is not plugged in into the board. Like, I don't know if you know, but on this iMac, you've got 1,000 gigabytes plugged in on the SATA port, and then there's like a port on the back where the SSD drive's plugged in, like an M-SATA port. But on the MacBook Pro Retina, it's actually physically on the board, soldered to the board, so there's no lag whatsoever, and it absolutely does fly. And the reviews of these two machines are coming up shortly. I will give you a spoiler alert, they're both awesome, they're really, really good. And I know that people are thinking, what's made you go to a real Mac? It wasn't because there was anything wrong with the other Macs, it's just that I got these two items at a gift price. I mean, this one, the iMac, is £1,850 or £1,900 to buy on Apple Store. I didn't pay nowhere near that. And the MacBook Pro, I didn't pay nowhere near £1,000, which is what that is on the store either. So I got that as well. And spoiler alert, they're both absolutely outstanding. And like I say, if you've got an iMac with a Fusion drive, I highly recommend you split it up to gain more speed, because you'll get more speed. The 1 terabyte, just, if you need quicker storage, then leave it. But if you think about it, you've got two drives running together, so if anything happens to one of them drives and it's your boot drive, it's over. Your grass, they're broke. Do you know what I mean? So it's better just relying on the SSD. And if you're lucky, you'll see there's the solid state hard drive, and there's the Apple 1TB drive as well. I will tell you that this thing runs games superb. I've got the Batman on there, and it runs it in 5K resolution at about 70-80 frames a second, all maxed out. Really, really good with all anti-initializing turned on and everything. So that's it. I'll see you in these 2 short reviews coming up shortly. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.